Yay! Hi. Let's do this. Yeah.
If you're hot or anything, let me know. We can.
I think Marc's the only one that's getting hot right now.
Welcome to Platform F. I'm with amazing Renee today. Hi.
Hello. Today you can call me Sister Eileen Eulick.
Sister Eileen Eulick. Apologies.
Yeah,
Apologies.
that's okay. It's very much a power bottom move, that name.
How did all this came to life? Let's start from there.
Yeah, I suppose it does come from my origin, being Irish and all. Growing up with religion, I feel like, especially as queer people, a lot of the conservative stuff that we've grown up with can become quite kinky. I don't know about your experience, but it certainly has for me. So that kind of not being allowed to do something because of religion, and then completely flipping that around to turn the thing that made me a good girl into a bad girl, it just gets me off. So yeah, Irish origins, religion just became quite kinky for me.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And when did you move here to Australia then?
Yeah, I came here in 2010. I had lived here when I was a kid for a little bit. My family moved here to get away from the troubles in Northern Ireland. And then once the Good Friday Agreement happened, they were like, oh, in 1999, it's safe to go back. So we were kind of like sort of Aussie Irish kids at that stage. We didn't really know who we were identity wise. And four of us, my twin brother and I, both ended up queer. And so once we were able to get away from Ireland, we did. So I left first in 2010, and my twin brother Marc followed me here 3 years later.
Did you find it very different after moving here?
I think different in a really good way.
That's nice.
A bit like yourself, baby. We were just able to be so openly queer here. There was so much more opportunity when it came to not only employment and education, but lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like my twin brother is a nurse, and because he's also queer, he's now got into sexual health nursing, which is something that he probably wouldn't have done. He works in trans healthcare as well. And so I think for both of us, we were able to come here and truly find ourselves. Yeah. I definitely didn't explore any kink or fetish until I was here.
How did that start?
Yeah, well, I guess I've always been a bit of a pervert, but I've always kept that internalized because I was raised in a church and I was told that that's really wrong. But I've always been quite a sexual person. And so I think it wasn't until I got to my 30s, early 30s, that I started to think a bit more about this. But also I had some exposure. I never had any exposure. So I used to work for a queer health organization, and within that, I started to learn about all of these things, and they excited me a lot. And, you know, even just going to places like the Laird when I was able to go, and Northside Bazaar, I realized there was something in me that connected with a lot of this kink and fetish. And finally, I'd found a place that I could explore that without any shame or guilt or judgment. And so that was when I started to go, okay, maybe there's something in this for me.
I always talk about us liking something is different compared to actually finding a community and people who we can talk about these things. Because you're not where you were earlier and now in a new country, was it sort of easy to connect with people and explore things?
Yeah, look, I've always been quite comfortable in meeting new people. And I suppose once I had that little bit of exposure to the community, the kink community, it was quite easy from there. Places like Eagle Leather, as we know, where you can go into and you can try things on and you can have that experience. But also working within the queer community space, I started to meet other people, specifically women who were kinky as well. I was in a pretty vanilla monogamous relationship at the time when I realized this. And so it was quite conflicting for me because I wasn't sure if this was just a fantasy for me or if the reality was something that I would want to engage with. So I had to have some pretty hard conversations with my girlfriend at the time to be honest about how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And to say, this is something I want to explore. Is that something you would want to explore with me? Which she wasn't that keen on. And Neither should she. If it's not for her, it's not for her.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah, and so, she was a very kind and lovely and timid person. Definitely not the sort of person that I was looking to have kinky fun with, which was someone who would dominate me.
Yeah.
So at that time, she was very open to me exploring that with someone, and it was very kind and generous of her to do that. And I was able to connect with someone who was a dom, who was able to give me my first experience, and that was really fantastic, phenomenal, unforgettable experience. But it also opened this whole thing in me where I was like, I don't think I'm monogamous.
Yeah.
And so in the end, that relationship didn't continue, but I also was able to really explore my sexuality in a way that I never had been able to before, to own that pervert in myself, and to really go deep into what that meant, where it came from, and also to heal a lot of old wounds and trauma, which I think that's one of the things we maybe don't talk about a lot with kink and fetish, is how healing it can be.
And sort of unlearn the stigma or certain things that we grew up with and open ourselves to like new possibilities. I think that's a very hard thing, and that's a part of healing for me. When you start meeting people at the time and trying to reach out to communities, what exactly you did at that time and how it has evolved so far?
Yeah, so there was a couple of kinky women that I met through work who were able to connect me with different communities and events that were happening. And actually, one of the women I worked with, her brother was wanting to go to some events where men were only allowed to go if they had a woman along with them. So he would bring me along as his plus one to these events where I could start to just go and observe to begin with. But then at that time, Eagle Leather were running their fantastic parties as well. And there was a couple of the gay men that I worked with who were going along to these parties. So I felt like it was easy to find community because I was already working within community. And in a queer community health sector, it's very open. So yeah, there was just so much to learn, everything from the hanky code right through to, a top and a bottom and dom switch, all of those things, sub. So I think I call her my Daddy Rose. She's actually just a chosen father figure to me, an older butch lady, and she's really kinky, and she lent me some books to read, and I found them really helpful as well. But yeah, I guess I learned a lot from watching kinky porn as well. And I think we do learn a lot from porn. Not that all porn on the internet is healthy, but definitely there was a lot of really good kinky porn coming out of San Francisco at the time. Kink.com stuff. It's all closed down now. But I think, I'm a really inquisitive person. So once I started to understand these things about myself, then I was able to kind of go deep and start exploring.
Did you meet people along the line who are new to these things later in your life when you are more comfortable with these things? Do you meet new people who want to get into these things and have conversations with you? Did you have that experience as well?
Not so much. Most of the people that I met were either older and established or not kind of women and trans non-binary people that are kind of in my community. I ended up deciding to start my own events because I couldn't find anything that really existed within the space of what I was looking for. Now, I would identify as pansexual, so I am attracted to cis men as well, but I'm very selective about the kind of dynamics that I engage in with men. And, as a bisexual or pansexual woman, you're a unicorn. You're like rare as hen's teeth. Everyone wants to snap you up, but it doesn't mean that you're interested in all of those people. So I think for me, I wanted to create spaces that were specifically targeted at queer women, trans people, non-binary people, everything but cis men.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, we live in a society where women don't always feel safe to have sex in premises where there are cis men, even if they are gay men.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're not just quite there yet.
Yeah.
So I was already running these events, but just social events, and I started to make them play parties, starting off with dark room and then slowly kind of building, having a peep show room, having a private boudoir that people could go into to play with a bed and everything. And then just having lots of kinky stuff on display.
Yeah.
Because it's so new to queer women, this environment, that we needed to go softly, softly, erotic massage, really visual, thinking about all of the kind of things that we as women need to turn us on, not just like gay men love like kinky chains, oil drums, techno music, we like, our version of sexy is a bit different. So really honing in on that. So that became something that I've run every year now for the last, I think since 2019 was the first one I did, bar 1 year for COVID. And it's been really beautiful to watch that space evolve and to see what people's needs are in the space. And, the first one, people were a bit shy.
Yeah.
The second one, slowly. And by now, it's really quite a freaky show.
Do you find there's a lot of events happening?
Not really. No, not really at all. I think there's lots of inclusive events.
Yeah.
But like this one, not really. Yeah. So that's why I did it, I guess, because I wanted to create the community that I couldn't find for myself.
By doing that, you create space for a lot of people to come and explore these things, and then they might end up being,
Sister Eileen has brought out things in people that they didn't know were in there, the same way that different characters that I've met along the time have been the same. I mean, your friend Marc, who was on the last episode, just got to shine my latex. And he was like rubbing my titties and having a lovely time. You never know. You never know. Yeah. Good boy. You never know what kinds of things you're going to learn about yourself based on what you're exposed to. And, at first I really wanted to be a bottom. I would probably identify as a power bottom. But I'm versatile, and different people bring different things out in me. Definitely when I'm connecting with a cis guy, I like to dominate. When I'm connecting with a woman, I'm like, please. So, I think it's really interesting how different people and circumstances can bring out different versions of yourself.
Yeah, and it's very fluid for me, the feelings around dom sub and all this. I think it just if I wear certain leather and certain things, I feel more dominant, or if I wear certain things, I feel more submissive. So I think I'm really enjoying how I feel with what I wear and whom I'm with and all the stuff. I think I've come to a stage in my life as well. It's 100% fluid for me. I know it changes all the time, so I don't want to like label myself anymore.
Don't limit yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you do that?
But I know that's like certain tendencies I like more towards certain other things. But I'm exploring all these with my leather journey as well, like how I feel when I'm in certain spaces and wear certain things. And the whole experience of that, it has been amazing. Yeah,
it's great. And, as you say, it's often about what you're wearing and the role that you're in. I also love leather. I ride with the Dykes on bikes. I wear full leathers. The feeling of being in full leathers and having a crotch rocket motorbike between your legs vibrating in the heat. I mean, it's hot.
Yes.
It's really hot. So at first I was like, I'm quite turned on by this. And then I realized that this was actually a whole subculture of people that like to wear motorcycle leather. And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
And that the other day when we were searching Google motorcycle leather, who comes first in search? That's you in your gear.
Yeah.
So amazing. I was in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, recently.
This can be in record as well. Like, I was in Sri Lanka in April. And I was talking to my friends around like leather, and they're like seeing all this online, and like my friends who are straight and might be watching this at one point, and have kids and asking me about like, what is leather? How did you get into this? Yeah. Having those conversations with people who are already close to me has made me feel so safe and comfortable.
And it has so much impact as well. Yeah. Every conversation has impact for sure.
It's just amazing how I started to feel that I can be open about these things with everyone that I'm comfortable and friends with. And that sort of broadened my community as well. For me, the community is not just people who are into these kinks or fetishes, but the people that I can talk to who support that even though they are not into.
Yeah, and you don't have to hide that part of yourself from them. Totally.
And being a person of color for me, being a migrant, being someone who wasn't born here, who doesn't speak English as their first language, all these are part of me. And if I can talk about all these fetishes and kinks I have with anyone who's in my life, that just changes everything.
Totally. And you don't know what that opens up for them too.
Yeah. Love it.
Inspiring job. That's why they call me the community inspiration.
Let's talk about the recent award you got as well.
Yes, I didn't expect to win anything, to be honest. I mean, I've been doing this work for the longest time, and it is really wonderful to be recognized. But I just saw the list of people that were also up for those awards, and I was like, probably not going to win. And I work as a wedding celebrant, as you know. I was working at a wedding during the awards, so I sent my twin brother along. Thank you, Marc, for accepting the award. And he messaged me whilst I was DJing at this wedding, being like, you didn't win Person of the Year, but you won the Community Inspiration Award. And I felt so grateful to be recognized and to know that I have made some sort of impact in all of the different queer work that I do. So yeah, I was very grateful.
Congratulations again. I was so happy. I was like messaging you as well, like, right, what did you do win? And I'm so happy that you won.
Yeah.
The recognition, it's important as well. And I think for other people to see that people get recognized for the things that they do within the community, I think it just inspires everyone to come out and do things, give back to the community as well, isn't it?
I think it is a lot around like, stop complaining about things not being how you want them to be. Put yourself out there and give it a go, because if it's something you're passionate about, there'll be other people with that same passion.
Yeah.
And that's what I truly believe. And I have done that time and time again with different things that I'm like, this would be great. Let's just do it. Like running a sober event for work.
Yes.
So I think, if you've got a good idea, get some people around you that support you and big you up and just do it.
I 100% agree. Like I've had some conversation with some people when there's a lot of people to criticize and say things, but my first question is, have you done anything about it, or what are you going to do about it? We can start something. If it doesn't work, it will fail, and then you can try something else. But if you don't start or take any actions against what we see or what we see out there, who else is going to do if you don't do something, right?
That's right. Yeah. Queer people are very creative. Like, use your creativity and make something that other people can connect with as well.
Yeah. I was sharing something today. It's not your job to do everything or find solutions to everything, but you have to start something. You have to start doing something. And then I believe every little thing will add up to a big change at the end of the day. If you don't start or if you don't do something, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially in these days.
Yeah, we have agency. Use it.
Yeah. Yeah. Renee, we asked this question from everyone. What 3 things come to your mind when you talk about your people or your community?
I think one of the things that I bring into my community, and I think that more people need in their lives, is playfulness. And I think that kink and fetish is such a beautiful way for adults to be playful. Role play being one of them. I love role play. It's like the most beautiful way to escape, to become someone else, to heal, as we've talked about before. So playfulness is huge for me. And, with that comes laughter, which is so good for you. And don't be afraid to embarrass yourself, just do it and laugh. The next one is love. As I mentioned, I work as a wedding celebrant. I work in the wedding industry. I became a celebrant because I was part of the marriage equality campaign. And I thought this was pretty fucked, but our community are going to be able to celebrate our love in such a special way. I want to be part of the joy that comes from it. So my third thing is joy. And I think we need to remember to find joy, to bring joy, to be able to spread it as far and wide as we can, because in the times that we're in, people are focusing a lot on some of the really negative kind of doom and gloom of the world.
Yeah.
But we have so much to be joyful about. We truly do. And I know that might sound like a very privileged thing to say, but we do. I think being grateful and finding joy and being present in the moment is how we protect ourselves from a lot of the awful stuff in the world. So those are my 3 words.
Amazing. Thank you so much for talking to me and everything you do. You've been amazing since the first day we met.
Thank you.
I'm, looking up to you. You're one of the inspirations that I have in my life as well. So thank you so much.
Same to you, baby. Thank you, darling.
Or should I just bow? I don't know what to do.
On your knees. On your knees. Bless you, child. Good boy.